Hey guys, it's Mr. Thibodeau here. So I want to go into lesson 87. This is stuff we've sort of been dancing around for a while now, and I may have mentioned it ahead of time, but solving unknown factors or finding unknown factors, okay? This is finding variables. And what that means is it is a letter that you don't know what, essentially it's a question mark. You don't know what number that represents, but you know how to find the answer. Okay, so for lesson 87, we have things like 5 times n equals 21. Well, 5 times n equals 21. Well, remember, we know our division facts and our multiplication facts. I could rewrite this as n equals 21 divided by 5, right? Because if 5 times n equals 21, then 21 divided by 5 is going to give me n. Okay. The other way to think about it is the equal sign is a scale. Whatever happens to one side can happen to the other side. If I wanted to multiply both sides by 10, 50n equals 210. That's still true. Okay, I could do that. I could divide each side by 5 and get a whole different number. I could do whatever I wanted to as long as I do it by both sides. I could do anything in the world. I could even do 5n equals 21, and if I add 1,000 to both sides, then it would read 5n plus 1,000 equals 21 plus 1,000. Okay. Now, why would we do this, and why does it work? Remember, it works because they're both, the equal sign is a scale. Okay, it's perfectly in balance, as all things should be. So, as long as whatever I do to this side, I do to this side, it remains true, right? So if n over here equals 4 1/5, as we know, okay, then this 5 times 4 1/5 equals 21. Doesn't matter if I add 1,000 to both sides. It's still going to be true, right? If this was true, then this is still true. Now, again, why does that matter? Because once you know that you can move things around, you can add or subtract or divide or multiply to both sides, then you can go ahead and you can take things like fn equals 21. And you know that if I divide this side by 5, I'm going to get n, right? 5 divided by 5 is going to cross out, and I'm going to be left with n. And over here, I have 21. I divide that by 5, and that gives me 4 1/5. Okay? So what we're going to do is once we know how moving things across the equal sign works, if I had, say, 5n plus 1 equals 21. Okay, so it's a slightly different problem. Well, here, I would go and I would subtract 1 from both sides. I'd get 20. So 5n equals 20. Right? I'm doing the inverse to get rid of it. Okay. Now I can divide both sides by 5, and I can get n equals 4. So this is a different problem that gives me a similar thing. If I had 5n minus 4 equals 21, here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the inverse. I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and that's going to give me just 5n equals 25. This gets crossed out. Now I can divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 leaves n, and 25 divided by 5 equals 5. Okay? It's called isolating and dominating. Okay? You want to isolate the variable so you can solve it. You can only ever solve with one variable and an equal sign. So with all of this stuff, now the lesson is specifically on unknown factors, multiplying and dividing. but I want to make sure you know the adding and divide and subtracting as well, because it's all part of the same thing. So in our next example here, okay, 0.6m equals 0.048. Okay, you could have the zeros there or not. Either way it works. Well, 0.6 times m, right? 0.6 times m equals 0.048. So I need to get it so it says m equals. So the only way to get rid of this 0.6 to get me so it says just m equals is I need to do the inverse to get rid of that 0.6. So I'm going to divide by 0.6, and I'm going to divide by 0.6, and that'll get me my answer. Okay. Now when I divide two decimals, right, 0.6 divided by 0.48, 0.048. Okay. Well, I can't actually divide a decimal by a decimal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to 6. That's going to move over 1. And now, instead of saying 0.048, it's going to be 0.48, as that also moves over 1. So now I have 6 divided by 0.48. It's the same problem. Goes in 8 times. 8 times 6 is 48. 0. That decimal point moves up. And this is a 0, so 0.08. 0.08. Okay. Over here, 45 equals 4x. So, right, 45 equals 4 times x. I need to get, so it says x equals, so I'm going to divide by 4, and that is going to cross out. And then I'm going to divide this side by 4, okay? And that's going to give me 11 and 1/4. Okay, I think you guys will do just fine with this stuff. If you had, there's times when you have to multiply. If I had like 1/5 x, I would multiply both sides, and I had 7 equals 7. What I could do is I could multiply both sides by 5. And the 5 over 1 and 1 over 5, they cancel out, leaving me just x equals 35. So it works too with division and multiplication, but right now they're only asking you to learn how to divide things and cancel out. I think you guys will do just fine on this. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Okay. I'm going to have you just guys do 2 through 30 even for the written practice. Okay. Have a good one, my dudes.